Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the deep end to unpack the profound truth behind the choices we make every single day. We're going to analyze the exact weight of our decisions over time, looking closely at a fascinating text on the endurance of righteous resolve. It's so easy to just navigate life on autopilot, right? We make choices based on instinct, convenience, or just the pressures of the crowd around us. But what if we actually hit pause to truly examine the architecture of those decisions? Well, that's exactly what we're doing today. We're breaking down a powerful philosophy about the diverging paths of our choices, and more importantly, where those paths ultimately lead us.
So, let's kick things off with a deeply personal question. Think about it. Do you prefer what is popular or what is right? I mean, sure, it sounds like a totally simple philosophical prompt on paper, but when you're actually in the heat of the moment, when the pressure is really on, the answer is rarely easy. This question is literally the cornerstone of our explainer today. It forces us to confront our own internal compass. Are we driven by the applause of the room, or are we driven by a quiet and maybe really difficult internal conviction?
Which brings us to Section 1, the decision crossroads. Every single day we stand at a crossroads, and our source text explicitly sets up a dichotomy between two very distinct paths, framing every major moral or practical choice as a fundamental fork in the road.
We face a stark, unavoidable contrast. The easy way on the left versus the hard way on the right. Easy decisions, they're popular, they demand very little friction. Hard decisions, on the other hand, are fundamentally tied to what is right. It's a really fascinating framework because it immediately strips away the illusion of a middle ground. When the stakes are real, you're generally forced to choose between the comfort of the easy route or the struggle of actually doing the right thing.
Moving on to Section 2, the trap of easy choices. It is absolutely crucial we understand exactly why this trap is so incredibly alluring when the stakes are high.
The source notes that these easy choices give, quote, immediate pleasure. And honestly, they might look incredibly good right at the exact moment you make them. And isn't that the absolute truth? When you choose the popular route, the reward is instantaneous. Just think about agreeing with a fundamentally flawed plan in a crucial meeting just to avoid conflict with your boss or your team. You get that immediate validation from your peers, that quick relief from tension, the path of least resistance. You don't have to defend an easy popular decision because, hey, everyone already agrees with it. It delivers this fast, comforting hit of immediate pleasure, which completely masks any underlying flaws in the decision itself.
But here's the cruel trick of the easy path. Because the decision was based on what was popular or easy, rather than what was fundamentally right, the foundation is incredibly weak. And when the bill comes due, it yields misery. Yeah, misery. That is a heavy, dramatic word used directly by the source. It's a super powerful warning against the seduction of the quick fix. The easy way might feel good now, but it's basically setting you up for a massive fall.
Okay, let's pivot to Section 3, aging like fine wine. So, if the easy path leads to misery, what does the hard path actually demand of us? And what does it promise?
Well, taking hard and right decisions requires immense strength because, as the text explicitly states, it often means feeling unpopular and completely outcasted in the immediate moment. Just think about the gravity of that word for a second, outcasted. When you choose what is right over what is easy, you lose the crowd. You sacrifice that immediate pleasure we were just talking about, and instead you have to accept immediate discomfort. You might face criticism, isolation, or just total misunderstanding. The text makes absolutely zero attempt to sugarcoat this. Doing the right thing hurts in the short term. It requires a tremendous amount of resolve to just stand alone.
But here is the crucial point, and it's a beautiful metaphor straight from the text. These difficult, righteous choices age like a fine classic wine. I absolutely love how this is framed. Wine requires time in the dark, right? It requires a process of maturation where initially it might be harsh or kind of unpalatable, but given time, its true complexity and value fully emerge. The source is telling us that your hard right decisions operate the exact same way. They might be really bitter to swallow today, and they might leave you sitting alone in the dark, but they possess this inherent, enduring quality that only time can truly reveal.
And this brings us to the concept of the long run. It isn't just about time passing. It's the ultimate equalizer, where the true consequence of our choices is finally felt. It's the ultimate judge. Sure, in the short term, the easy choice easily wins the popularity contest. But the text really urges us to stretch our timeline, to look way beyond tomorrow and gaze years into the future. The long run is where the superficial polish of the easy choice wears completely off, and the deep structural integrity of the hard choice finally shines through.
So here we see the final, ultimate destination of our two paths. In the long run, the true foundation of your choice is revealed. The popular choice washes away into misery, while the hard, right choice becomes valued and adored. Notice that beautiful contrast in the language from the text. When time has actually passed, when that initial sting of being outcasted has finally faded, the right decision stands tall. People look back on it with reverence, and more importantly, you look back on it with pride. It transitions from this act of quiet defiance into a cornerstone of your character that is truly adored. Which brings us to Section 4, your long run. The text isn't just some abstract observation. It's a very real blueprint for navigating your own reality.
I want you to think deeply about a choice you're facing today, literally right now, in your own life. Is the path you're leaning toward destined to bring momentary pleasure, or will it age like a fine classic wine? Are you terrified of being outcasted in the moment, or are you willing to endure that temporary isolation for the sake of what is right? The source text leaves us with this unavoidable truth: time is eventually going to reveal the nature of the choices you make today. You can choose the immediate applause that fades into misery, or the quiet, difficult resolve that becomes adored over time. So the next time you face a difficult fork in the road, you have to ask yourself, are you building for the applause of today or the legacy of tomorrow? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.